Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by to my channel. This is a self-development tribe. This is where you'll find anything self-development. And for my very first video on the channel, what I want to do is I want to talk about the victim mindset and how to overcome it, because I think a lot of people struggle with this and it can hold you back if you don't address it early on. Let's take, for example, right off the bat, that you rent an Airbnb. And that Airbnb, you show up and they advertise that they have Wi-Fi, and they have all these amenities, and half of them are missing. The Wi-Fi doesn't work, the pictures don't look like how they were advertised, and you get pissed off, right? That's easy to understand. Anybody would. You know, you pay for this and you've got all these issues to deal with. Is it the landlord's fault or is it your fault? It's easy to fall into the victim mindset and think that the landlord is the one who is fully responsible because it's their place that they're renting out, and they put up the pictures and they put up the description, the details about what was available at the property, and it wasn't there. So it's their fault, right? I'm going to say it wrong. Because who told you to rent an Airbnb? Who told you to be there? Who told you not to have a contingency plan? See, that's one way we can flip it. And we can change the idea that everything is your fault. And by doing that, it's a lot better of a conditioning than falling into the blame game where everything isn't your fault. Because that is a toxic mindset that's going to hold you back in life. So I'm going to get into it right away. How do you solve this issue with falling into the victim mindset? Most of us have been brought up to think that way, unless a parent or somebody, a mentor, told them to think a different way. But what you want to do is you want to flip the idea that this isn't happening to me, this is happening for me. Try to interpret what is the benefit of why it's happening. I'll give you an example. Let's say that you have a job that you hate, and you go into this job every day, and let's say a pandemic happens and you get laid off. And it's the scariest thing in the world, because you're wondering, okay, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to pay my house? How am I going to pay for my car? Whatever you have reoccurring. And you're panicking. If you have a family, you're even more scared. So what do? Some people are shell-shocked. They can't do anything. They end up just laying around trying to figure out, their next move, but they're just drowning in panic. The big thing, and this is a big example of, let's say that ends, their job's over, but they move on to another job and they love that job, and let's say it's their dream job. It moves them closer to their dream job. So granted, that's a big example of when somebody loses their job, jumping into this mindset right away is not going to be an easy thing, because it's such a dramatic event in your life. But if you can change little things, like when somebody cuts you off in traffic, and you could say, why is this happening to me? Well, maybe because I was driving too fast. I need to be more cautious on the road. I need to be more aware, no texting and driving and things like that. Maybe that would prevent you from getting into an accident the following week or something like that. So you always want to be mindful of when you're so quick to blame somebody. When somebody pisses you off, you're so quick to blame them. Flip it and say, why is this happening for me? And that's the better thing that you want to do, because you want to become more aware of when it's happening with the little events, so that when the big events happen, you don't become reactive and a panicky mess where you can't figure out what to do. You need to be able to react in a calm manner, and you need to look at it as a positive instead of a negative. So that's how you're going to flip this around and turn it around, so that the victim mindset can be overcome. And let me tell you that if you are trying to go after major endeavors in your life and you have the victim mindset, any obstacle is going to shut you down, because your mind is already wired to think that, oh, why is this happening to me? And it just takes your mental power away. It takes your creativity away to how to think about getting around this obstacle. So I'm going to leave you with that.